Okay, 10.45. Buddhir gnanam asammoha kshama satyam damashamah sukham dukkham bhavo bhavo bhayam cha bhayameva cha ahimsa samata tushtis tapodanam yasho yashah bhavanti bhava bhutanam matta eva pritakvidah. Intelligence, knowledge, freedom from doubt and delusion. Delusion means moha, some moha. Forgiveness, truthfulness, control of the senses, control of the mind, happiness and distress, birth, death, fear, fearlessness, non-violence, equanimity, satisfaction, austerity, charity, fame, and infamy. All these various qualities of living beings are created by me alone. So all these qualities are created by Krishna himself. Now, Srila Prabhupada in the purport, he explains what these different qualities mean, because we might have our own understanding, but there's a specific understanding that we need to get. Prabhupada is explaining the purport. The different qualities of living being, living entities, be they good or bad, are all created by Krishna, and they're described here. Good, bad, everything comes from Krishna. Somebody might ask, okay, why bad? Why bad? Because we want bad. Krishna is not interfering with our free will. So whatever we desire, he facilitates. So we want bad qualities, so Krishna has created bad qualities. First of all, why this material world at all? Because we want it. We wanted it, so Krishna has created. So all good, bad, everything comes from Krishna. Okay, first is intelligence. Intelligence, common knowledge. Intelligence refers to the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. And knowledge refers to understanding what is spirit and what is matter. Now, knowledge doesn't mean information about various things. Okay, I have knowledge about music, I have knowledge about building dams, I have knowledge about nuclear weapons. No, that is not knowledge. That is material knowledge. It's actually not considered knowledge. Real knowledge means understanding what is spirit, what is matter. And intelligence means using the power to analyze things in their proper perspective. Use our intelligence to understand what is spirit, what is matter. Ordinary knowledge obtained by a university education pertains only to matter, and it is not accepted here as knowledge. Knowledge means knowing the distinction between spirit and matter. In modern education, there is no knowledge about spirit. They are simply taking care of the material elements and bodily needs. Therefore, academic knowledge is not complete. Very clear. Academic knowledge is not complete because it is only dealing with matter, but knowledge means spirit and matter. There is no knowledge of spirit in academic circles, so academic knowledge is not complete. Okay, so that is intelligence and knowledge. Second, asammoha, freedom from doubt and illusion. Prabhupada writes, asammoha can be achieved when one is not hesitant and when he understands the transcendental philosophy. When he is not hesitant means he is wholeheartedly engaging. He is not holding himself back. Because if we hold ourselves back, then we will remain in doubt. So we should go wholeheartedly. Wholeheartedly, we should try to understand, hear and understand. And only then we are saying only when we are not hesitant, only then we can understand the transcendental philosophy. If we are not wholeheartedly approaching this, then we might not understand transcendental philosophy. Slowly but surely, he becomes free from bewilderment. So bewilderment means that we all think that we are the body, this whole material world is for my satisfaction, my enjoyment. Now, this is all bewilderment, crazy. But slowly but surely, he becomes free from bewilderment. Nothing should be accepted blindly. Everything should be accepted with care and with caution. With care and caution. We don't have to accept anything blindly. So if there is something being read, we can try to understand with care and caution and understand it properly. Okay, that is asammoha, freedom from doubt and delusion. Now kshama, tolerance. And forgiveness should be practiced. One should be tolerant and excuse minor offenses of others. Now, what is minor, what is major, that also we have to understand. But generally, we should, if it is anything to do with us, if somebody has committed any offense against us, we should just excuse. And we should be tolerant. Trunadapi sunichena tarorapi saishnuna. More tolerant than a tree. Tree is very tolerant. If somebody is cutting down the tree and that person then comes and lies down under the tree doesn't, it still continues to give shelter, it continues to give the shade. Very tolerant. Modern life is all about intolerance. It's all about immediate, fast. But that doesn't teach us tolerance, which is the most critical quality required for making spiritual progress. So we should be tolerant. If somebody says something which maybe is not right, we should still tolerate. And if by chance somebody has done any offense against us, we should just excuse them. So tolerance and forgiveness. Next, satyam, truthfulness. Means that facts should be presented as they are for the benefit of others. Facts should not be misrepresented. According to social conventions, it is said that one can speak the truth only when it is palatable to others. But that is not truthfulness. The truth should be spoken in a straightforward way so that others will understand actually what the facts are. If a man is a thief, and if people are warned that he is a thief, that is truth. Although sometimes the truth is unpalatable, one should not refrain from speaking it. Truthfulness demands that the facts be presented as they are for the benefit of others. That is the definition of truth. And a sadhu is one who is supposed to speak the truth. That is why Prabhupada never compromised. When he was preaching, he was always clear, straightforward, and whether people like it or not, okay, regulative principles have to be followed. Of course, initially he was a bit lenient. He didn't tell, he didn't misrepresent, but he didn't reveal all the knowledge, which is okay, because there's so much of knowledge. We decide based on the audience what knowledge to reveal, what not to reveal. But we should not present something and present a wrong thing. We should not present a false thing. We should always present facts. We might hold back some facts because people might not be ready to understand and accept it at that point of time, and they'll come to that stage later. But we have to be truthful in whatever we speak, and is not like compromising with the truth or altering the truth to satisfy some audience. No, sadhu means speaking the truth. And yes, we might become unpopular because of that, which is something that personally experienced. But there's no other option, as in this is the only way. That as sadhus, this is how we should live life, this is how we should preach. Okay. Then control of senses. Control of senses means that the senses should not be used for unnecessary personal enjoyment. So that means that there is also something called as necessary personal enjoyment. And necessary personal enjoyment is eating for keeping body and soul together, taking bath, brushing teeth. Now all these are necessary, and they're personal enjoyment in the sense, okay, like you want to eat certain kind of food, you can eat. Personal enjoyment, but that is necessary. There's no prohibition against the proper needs of the senses, but unnecessary sense enjoyment is detrimental for spiritual advancement. Therefore, senses should be restrained from unnecessary use. Unnecessary use means, in Bhagavad Gita elsewhere, Krishna says that a devotee, even when he's engaging his senses with the sense objects, he doesn't provoke them. meaning we are eating food because we have to keep body and soul together. But then we don't provoke our taste buds and we say, okay, I need extra salt, or I need, it to be spicy. It doesn't suit my taste buds. This is provoking the senses. No, Krishna Prasadam is there. Okay, whether it is spicy, not spicy, whether there's salt, no salt, whatever, just honor Prasadam. That's it. Huh? Don't put the senses to unnecessary use. Unnecessary use also, for example, genitals, unless for producing Krishna conscious children, there's no question of husband and wife coming together. So that is also unnecessary. Similarly, one should restrain the mind from unnecessary thoughts. That is called shama. Unnecessary thoughts. So this is so crazy. Actually, all kinds of crazy thoughts keep coming to our mind. And this itself is an austerity of the mind, to just ignore those thoughts. Ignore. Restrain is very difficult. That is the next stage. Meaning preventing such thoughts from coming is next stage. But first stage is so many thoughts keep flowing into the head. Don't give importance to everything. Unless it is something is absolutely important, just ignore. And Prabhupada is saying one very important thing. One should not spend one's time pondering over earning money. Most of the materialists just do this all the time. Men sit together and try to figure out how to enjoy and how to earn money. That's it. Prabhupada is saying that is a misuse of the thinking power. The mind should be used to understand the prime necessity of human beings. And what is the prime necessity of human beings? And that should be presented authoritatively. The power of thought should be developed in association with persons who are authorities in the scriptures, saintly persons and spiritual masters, and those whose thinking is highly developed. So the power of thought should be developed in association with such persons. Sukham, pleasure or happiness, should always be in that which is favorable for cultivation of spiritual knowledge of Krishna consciousness. So we should derive happiness in things that are anukulyasya, that are favorable for Krishna consciousness. We should derive happiness there. Unfortunately for us, naturally, our happiness, we derive happiness from things which are not favorable to Krishna consciousness, like going to a movie, eating non-prasadam, hearing some film music. These are all pratikula. These are not favorable for Krishna consciousness. We derive pleasure from there. But we should derive pleasure from eating prasadam, from taking darshan, from seeing the beautiful form of the Lord, etc., etc. And similarly, that which is painful or which causes distress is that which is unfavorable for. So happiness and distress are defined according to whether they are favorable to Krishna consciousness or not, and not according to whether they satisfy my senses or not. Anything favorable for development of Krishna consciousness should be accepted, and anything unfavorable should be rejected. Bhava, birth, should be understood to refer to the body. As far as the soul is concerned, there is neither birth nor death. So soul, we know this, we have read from the second chapter. Soul is deathless. That we have discussed in the beginning of Bhagavad Gita. Birth and death apply to one's embodiment. Embodiment means the body that we are wearing in the material world. So it all refers to there's birth and death only to the body, not to the soul. Fear is due to worrying about the future. This is most common, right? Most people are afraid of the future because they don't know what is in store. So there's anxiety, there's fear. Oh, what if something like this happens? What if that happens, etc., etc. Person in Krishna consciousness has no fear, because by his activities he's sure to go back to the spiritual sky, back to home, back to Godhead. So Krishna conscious people, there should not be any fear, because even if suppose say this body comes to an end, because we are engaged in spiritual activities, then we will go to Krishna. So how does it matter whether we give up this body now or later? It really doesn't matter. Therefore, his future is very bright. Others, however, do not know what their future holds. They have no knowledge of what the next life holds. So they are therefore in constant anxiety. If you want to get free from anxiety, then the best course is to understand Krishna and be situated always in Krishna consciousness. In that way, we will be free from all fear. In Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said, Bhayam dvitiya viniveshadasyat. Fear is caused by absorption in illusory energy. See the word absorption. We are too much involved in material things, too much attached to material things, too much attached to relations, too much attached to body, too much attached to possessions. So then there is anxiety about losing them. That is the cause of fear. But those who are free from illusory energy, that is this material energy, those who are confident that they are not the material body, and that they are spiritual parts of the Supreme Person of Godhead, and who are therefore engaged in the transcendental service of the Supreme Godhead, have nothing to fear. So devotees have nothing to fear because they are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. So they have nothing to fear. Their future is very bright. So all of us should understand. Because we are engaged in Krishna consciousness, our future is bright. This fear is a condition of persons who are not in Krishna consciousness. Abhayam, fearlessness is possible only for one in Krishna consciousness. Ahimsa, non-violence, means that one should not do anything which will put others into misery or confusion. Misery, we talk, the way we talk, we put others into misery. Somebody might be already afraid about something. We should not speak such that their pain increases. We should also see and we should help the other person by our speech, not put them into further misery. Material activities that are promised by so many politicians, sociologists, philanthropists, etc., do not produce very good results because politicians and philanthropists have no transcendental vision. They do not know what is actually beneficial for human society. So they cannot actually help in creating ahimsa, non-violence. Because they really don't know what is good for society. Ahimsa means that people should be trained in such a way that the full utilization of the human body can be achieved. That is ahimsa. If we don't give Krishna consciousness to people, then it is himsa. Ahimsa means enabling them to fully utilize their human body to achieve perfection. The human body is meant for spiritual realization. So any movement or any commissions which do not further that end commit violence on the human body. That which furthers the future spiritual happiness of the people in general is called non-violence. Furthers means improves or takes it in that direction. Okay. Samatha, equanimity, refers to freedom from attachment and aversion. Equanimity, whether there is a raga or dvesha. Attachment is raga, aversion is dvesha. So one should be free from raga and dvesha, from attachment and aversion. That is equanimity. That means if there is situation which is conducive for us or not conducive, we remain equipoised. To be very much attached or to be very much detached is not the best. This material world should be accepted without attachment or aversion. How do we understand this? Suppose somebody is very particular about the kind of food that they eat. So that means they're attached to the kind of food they eat and they're averse to food that they don't like. For example, somebody wants spicy food. They're attached to spicy food. They don't like sweets. This is not good. For a Krishna conscious person, anything which is prasadam, he should have. Of course, Krishna conscious food itself by definition means sattvic, which means that not very spicy, not very pungent, etc. So we should not be affected by this attachment or aversion. That is called samatha, equanimity. A person in Krishna consciousness has nothing to reject and nothing to accept, save in terms of its usefulness in the prosecution of Krishna consciousness. Meaning, what is the criteria for a Krishna conscious person to accept or reject something? It is based on the usefulness of that thing in executing Krishna consciousness. If suppose something is not useful, then he will reject it. If something is useful, then he will accept it. That's it. There's no other criteria. Tushti, satisfaction, means that one should not be eager to gather more and more material goods by unnecessary activity. Be satisfied with whatever we have. One should be satisfied with whatever is obtained by the grace of the Supreme Lord. That is called satisfaction. Tapas means austerity or penance. There are many rules and regulations in the Vedas which apply here, like rising early in the morning, taking bath. Sometimes it is very troublesome to rise early in the morning, but whatever voluntary trouble one may suffer in this way is called penance. So that is something that it's not very easy to do, but we still do for the pleasure of the Lord. That is penance. Similarly, there are prescriptions for fasting on certain days of the month. One may not be inclined to practice such fasting, but because of his determination to make advancement in the science of Krishna consciousness, he should accept such bodily troubles when they are recommended. However, one should not fast unnecessarily or against Vedic injunctions for getting freedom. This is all unnecessary. One should not fast for some political purpose. That is described in Bhagavad Gita as fasting in ignorance. And anything done in ignorance or passion does not lead to spiritual advancement. Everything done in the mode of goodness does advance one. However, and fasting done in terms of Vedic injunctions enriches one in spiritual knowledge. As far as charity is concerned, one should give 50% of his earnings to some good cause. And what is a good cause? It is that which is conducted in terms of Krishna consciousness. That is not only a good cause, but the best cause. Because Krishna is good, his cause is also good. The charity should be given to a person who is engaged in Krishna consciousness. According to Vedic literature, it is enjoined that charity should be given to the Brahmanas. This practice is still followed, although not very nicely in terms of Vedic injunction. But still, the injunction is that charity should be given to the Brahmanas. Why? Because they are engaged in higher cultivation of spiritual knowledge. A Brahmana is supposed to devote his whole life for understanding Brahman. Brahman janati iti Brahmanaha. One who knows Brahman is called a Brahmana. The charity is offered to the Brahmanas because they are always engaged in higher spiritual service and have no time to earn their livelihood. In Vedic literature, charity is also to be awarded to one in the renounced order of life, the sannyasi. The sannyasis beg from door to door, not for money, but for missionary purposes. The system is that they go from door to door to awaken the householders from the slumber of ignorance. People are sleeping in ignorance. Because the householders are engaged in family affairs and have forgotten their actual purpose of life, which is awakening their Krishna consciousness. It is a business of the sannyasis to go as beggars to the householders and encourage them to be Krishna conscious. As it is said in the Vedas, one should awake and achieve what is due him in this human form of life, which is to go back home, back to Krishna. This knowledge and method is distributed by the sannyasis. Hence, charity is to be given to the renouncer of life, to the Brahmanas, and similarly good causes, not to any whimsical cause. Nowadays, people want to just give some charity to some whimsical cause. Whimsical means something, some speculative. Give something to the poor. They're all whimsical. How do we know where this money is going, how it is being used? Nothing. Simply, oh, okay. Or some politician or some film star is doing some charity. Okay, let me offer that. This is all whimsical. Yash's fame should be according to Lord Chaitanya, who said that a man is famous when he is known as a great devotee. That is real fame. If one has become a great man in Krishna consciousness and it is known that then he is truly famous. One who does not have such a fame is infamous. Okay. All these qualities are manifest throughout the universe in human society and in the society of demigods. There are many forms of humanity on other planets. Scientists don't believe that there is humanity or there is life on other planets, but Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam clearly state that there is life in other planets, and here it is said many forms of humanity on other planets, and these qualities are there. Now, for one who wants to advance in Krishna consciousness, Krishna creates all these qualities, but the person develops them himself from within. One who engages in the devotional service of Supreme Lord develops all good qualities as arranged by the Supreme Lord. Yasyasti bhaktir bhagavat kinchana sarvair gunes tattva samasate suraha Harava bhaktasya kuto mahat gunad manorathena sato dhavato bahihi. A devotee develops all the good qualities that are there in the demigods. Now, whatever if you find good or bad, the origin is Krishna. Nothing can manifest itself in this material world which is not in Krishna. That is knowledge. Although we know that things are differently situated, we should realize that everything flows from Krishna. Although we know that things are differently situated, which means that we might see something as bad in this material world, but actually it is not bad, because ultimately everything is for our good only, to come to Krishna. We should realize that everything flows from Krishna. Okay, long purport. Any questions anybody has?
Yes, Roger, I have a question.
Yeah.
It is mentioned that
Bhakta Vatsala is crying.
yeah, Bhagavad is crying. So it is mentioned that those things which are acceptable, favorable, should be accepted, and some things which are not favorable should be rejected.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it is not possible to have a choice of rejection, even though some things is unfavorable. So how to deal with that situation?
Like what? Can you give an example?
Like suppose some things are giving lot of stress, so that we are not able to focus in bhakti, for example. And if we want to make our life simple, but due to other obligations, it might not be easy to get free from that. So what should be the thought process during that time?
Okay, so see, if something, okay, so it's still a bit vague. So, okay, let me answer it this way. If that thing that is binding us or that is troubling us is not, if it is part of our responsibility, for example, say taking care of a small child, now it's not easy, right? It might sometimes look like waste of time, right? But the whole family is Krishna's responsibility that Krishna has given us, that we have to take care of our family nicely, we have to give Krishna consciousness to our children, etc., etc. So those things are to be done because it is part of our varnashrama duties. We cannot run away from those. If we are going to work and work is troubling us, then yes, definitely we can look for a simpler job that doesn't demand so much effort from our side. But there is really nothing in this material world which we have to simply grudgingly accept. There's nothing like that. It's just our state of mind, and whether we have the willpower to overcome it or find an alternative or not.
Yeah. So sometimes it might be our own mind which is unnecessarily. So basically, it comes into the category of unnecessary thought also, maybe.
Yeah, mostly it is that only. Mostly, see, either from whatever I have seen, either we are trying to escape from some responsibility, which is also game play of the mind, because actually that responsibility is ours. We need to take care of it. Just because it's troublesome, we cannot run away from our responsibility, right? Like for example, say if suppose say you have to go to a function and eat something which is onion garlic. Now that is absolutely not acceptable. Now nobody can force you to do that. So it's a stressful situation, but we go through it for the pleasure of Krishna, right? So, but there isn't anything which you are absolutely forced to do, and it's not favorable for Krishna consciousness. Nothing like that. It's just our faith, our willpower, our willingness to just deal with the problem, deal with the situation. If we are strong enough, then we will very easily deal with it without any struggle. If we are weak, then the situation might give us some trouble, some disturbance. That's all.
Yeah. So I think even in that situation, just waiting for Lord's mercy while continuing to do whatever we can do as part of our duty, as per our capacity, that should be our state of the mind. Isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in general, If that is something that needs to be done, then we do and pray for guidance and mercy. If it is something that we know that we don't have to necessarily do, then we don't do it. We figure out how to get out of it if it is not required. Sometimes it might take some time. Sometimes it might be difficult to get out of it. And then we patiently just keep trying and wait for Krishna's mercy.
Yes, Lord.
Okay. Anything else? Okay. Then we'll stop here. It's been a long purport and we'll continue on Monday. Krishna willing. We close? Okay. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyo cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.